Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to provide you with instructions on how to register your STP tokens ahead of the release of the STASHPAY.io software. Within 48 hours after the 27th of September 2018, 23 UTC, all STP tokens will become fixed, that is frozen and non-transferrable on the Ethereum blockchain. At this point it will be possible to launch a public blockchain platform adopting the open source STASHPAY.io software by generating a file or snapshot showing the fixed balances of STP tokens from the state of the Ethereum blockchain. In order for the balance of your STP tokens to be included in any snapshot, you must register your Stash public key against your Ethereum address before the 27th of September 2018. Before you begin the registration process, there is a few things that you must do. Firstly, if you hold your STP tokens on an exchange, you need to move all your STP tokens from the exchange account to one Ethereum address that you control. Have all your STP tokens in one Ethereum address. Make sure that only you hold the private keys to the Ethereum address where you hold your STP tokens, and make sure you have a small amount of Ether in the address that holds your STP tokens. You shouldn't need much more than 0.005 Ether. You will need this Ether to pay for the gas so that you can register your Stash public key against your Ethereum address. In this video, I'll take you through the registration process where I'll show you how to generate a pair of Stash public and private keys which you will be able to use to access your STP tokens on a blockchain that adopts the STASHPAY.io software. Next, I'll show you how to register your public key against your Ethereum address where you hold your STP tokens. And finally, I'll show you how to check you have correctly registered your Stash public key against your Ethereum address. The first step that you will need to take in the registration process is to generate a pair of Stash public and private keys. You can do that by going to this link here, stashpay.io/paper-wallet.html. This will take you to the Stash Paper Wallet generator, and by moving your mouse around the screen, you'll be able to generate a pair of Stash public and private keys. You can see here on the left hand side I have generated a Stash public key, and on the right hand side a Stash private key. You will need to make sure that you copy these keys and save them in a secure and private location. It is important that you save these keys in a secure location, as if you lose these keys you will not be able to access your STP tokens in the future. Next, you want to navigate to the MyEtherWallet website, which is myetherwallet.com. Once here, you will see a number of tabs at the top of the web page. Select the Contracts tab. Then navigate to where it says Select Existing Contract. Click into the drop-down box, scroll to the bottom, and select the STASHPAY contract. Then click Access. You will see a section which says Read Write Contract. Select the drop-down box and select the option Register Key. You will see a public key input box that shows up. Next, you need to select the Stash public key that you generated earlier on using the Stash Paper Wallet generator. Copy the Stash public key and paste it into the public key box. Next, you will need to select your wallet where you currently hold your STP tokens. As you can see, there are a number of options that you can select from. In this example, I will use a Ledger hardware wallet. I'll select the Ledger wallet, and now on my Ledger I will input the PIN code to unlock the ledger. Once you have done this, select Ethereum on the Ledger wallet. Next, click on Connect to Ledger Wallet. You will see a pop-up box pop up. Scroll down towards the bottom of the box where you will see your Ethereum address where you hold your STP tokens. If you want to verify how many STP tokens you hold in this address, click on the link below Token Balances. This will take you to an Ethereum Explorer where you will be able to verify how many STP tokens you hold in this particular address. Also, as mentioned before, make sure you have a small amount of Ether in the address where you hold your STP tokens. If you don't have any Ether in this address, you will not be able to complete the registration process. Next, select the address where you hold your STP tokens and click Unlock your wallet. Next, click on the right button. You'll see a new window that pops up. In the amount to send section, leave the number as 0, and in the gas limit section, leave the default number as is. Next, click the Generate Transaction button. On your hardware ledger wallet, confirm the transaction. Once you have confirmed the transaction on your ledger, you'll see a new section that pops up below the Generate Transaction button. Click on Yes, I'm sure, Make Transaction. Now you will want to check that you have correctly registered your Stash public key against your Ethereum address. You will need to navigate to the etherscan.io website. Once there, go to the top right input box and paste in the Stash contract address, which you can find in the text instructions accompanying this video. Click Go. Next, select the Read Contract tab. Next, scroll down to section 12, where you will see the menu Public Keys. This is where you need to input your current Ethereum public address where you hold your STP tokens. Copy the address and paste it into the input box. Next, click Query. Under Public Keys method, you should see your Stash public key which you generated earlier. If you can see this Stash public key in this section, then you have correctly registered your Stash public key against your Ethereum address. This section is for advanced users only. In this section, I will show you how you can use the STASHPAY.io Bit39 tool to generate a mnemonic, or use your own set of random words to derive your Stash public and private keys. First, you will need to navigate to STASHPAY.io/bit39.html. Once here, save the file as a HTML file onto a USB stick. For best security, it is highly recommended that you then take that USB stick and run the file on a computer that has never touched the internet and is offline. Next, you have the option to generate a new mnemonic, or you can also input an existing mnemonic you already have. In this example, I will generate a new mnemonic. Press the Generate button. As you can see, this generates a new mnemonic. It is important that you now save these set of words somewhere secure, as you will be able to use them at any time you wish to derive your stash public and private keys. Next, go to Coin, click into the drop-down box, and scroll down to where it says Stash. Next, scroll down to where it says Derived Addresses. As you can see, you have now derived your stash public and private keys. You can now use your stash public key to register it against your Ethereum address where you hold your STP tokens. Now that you have generated your mnemonic, saved it in a secure location, and derived your stash public and private keys, you can go back to the part of this video where I show users how to use My Ether wallet to register their stash public key.